or racial people or corrupt people. And y'all don't care anything about the future of your nation, of your generation to come. I am tired being a Guyanese, living and grew up in Guyana between great Indian and black people, and the loving and kind treatment from the 60 going back, but from the time we was given a so-called independence with corrupt people and Judas, all of them, everything automatically changed. I want you, the black race, to analyze and understand something. And yes, I am going to say this now. You could take it how you like it. I don't want you to feel that I am condemning every black people, because not every black people are destructive to themselves, destructive to their family, and wanted problem and can't see farther than the next day. Because amongst 200 and something thousand blacks, I will say 70 to 80,000 genuine human beings, honorable, God-fearing, loving, kind. God wouldn't even have to look at them. He will just open heaven and say, welcome my children. But the rest is garbage. And I said garbage. And I said with a good meaning. Because today you could recycle garbage and turn it into many things. Depends what type of garbage. You could take the waste and bring it into food for pigs, cows, sheep, manure, and other things, and fishes. But some people in Guyana just don't need to be recycled at all. Education is free. You spend more time looking at Facebook, looking at your cell phone, criticizing and posing like you're in Hollywood or Bollywood, when at the same time you're hungry and can't even afford to have a piece of food to eat. My friends, I want to enlighten you all here today. You, the black race first, I'm dealing with. They're uneducated. For God's sake, get educated. Your future is slipping away from your fingers and your hands. And if you have a wife, the children, and your future of that woman is also gone down the drain. When will you all accept and realize that politicians do not help you unless you kill for them, vote for them, lie for them, and they only need you at the time of voting? Did you ever see any one of your black leaders in a demonstration burning, looting, and fighting and trying to kill? None of them, not even the children. Okay? What happened in the 60s to the Indian in Mackenzie, Wisma, and elsewhere? India will never forget it. So let's draw a line there. They shall and will never forget it. Just like how Japan will not forget the two bombs that was dropped in their ass when they messed with America in Pearl Harbor. And America will not forget what happened in Pearl Harbor. Now Vietnam will not forget what happened with Orange, Agent Orange. And America will never forget what happened in the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and elsewhere. Why am I telling you these things? For you to understand that people will have things to memorize until death. This young generation in Guyana, I called upon you, the two major races, Indian and black. Be united for the future of yourself and your children. Okay? Now let me deal with you, as I said, the blacks. What did Barnum give to y'all? What Height give to y'all? Huh? What did David Granger give to y'all? He raised his salary for all politicians. Civil servant, teachers, and others had to pick it to get their own raise. Huh? Did anyone in the PPP, who was the opposition, reject the money that was raised on their salary? Of course not. It's just like Dr. Jagan, when he walked out of Parliament for months to give Barnum position to do everything he wants. And you black people believe Barnum and Jagan was enemy? Barnum was the godfather, and is the godfather of Joey Jagan. Wake to hell up. Y'all are the one who are suffering. All 65 members of Parliament, present and past, abuse and abuse y'all. All of them have their hands somewhere or the other into something illegal. And I am saying it. And if there's one that I'm lying, first to begin with, once you're Indian and black in the Parliament, you're illegal. because you emancipated, you should go back to Africa. And you arrive, your visa run out. And according to your constitution, those who have foreign papers and so should not be in parliament, and you got a few of them in there. My friends, I am appealing to all of you, Indian and black, the two major races. Be united for the future of your children. You need a big house. You need a nice car. You need a big TV screen. And your daughters and your mothers and your sisters and your niece shall not be blasted servant for these bastards that ruling you. And some of you in the police force are killing for them, locking up innocent people because they give you some money and maybe a raise. But let me be honest with you. Your days are coming when you are going to answer the charge. Okay? And you, the Indian, you have to also understand not every black people have done you wrong. Because before Jagan, the disease and Burnham arrived, y'all was uncle and auntie, brothers and sisters. Black boy, coolie boy, black gal, coolie gal, mommy and daddy, uncle and brother and sister. How that sudden turn to black man for black man, coolie for coolie. What nonsense is this? In the time of the British, you were better off. Today, you all are divided. It bleeds my heart when I open up my eyes and see on the news how the government is bulldozing the land them where houses on. They are giving you all some place all the way far away while they are bringing the place in for friends and family because they got money and taking the best real estate value. My friends, those 65 members in parliament are your servant. You are the effing government. You are the government. So you police, military, corrupt magistrate and judge who jailing people, locking up people for politicians and corrupt businessmen and others, y'all have your days. And if you have children, I ask God, if you're involved in it, may your children run mad before your eyes and die young so you could feel the pain what you're putting people through. When you lock up a man, you might as well kill his whole family. Right, Your Honor? Right, Judge? Right, Magistrate? For I think none of you, not even the devil, want y'all ass in hell. But y'all are so effing corrupt, so vindictive, racial and spiteful because you're black. You hate the coolie, and the coolie hate you. Well, let me tell you now about the Indian people. You, the black man of Guyana, is the racist one. But again, 70,000 to 80,000 genuine human. And for all who marry out of your black race into other race, you should be giving something as a reward because you are breaking the racial tension that was created by Jagan and Burnham. Okay? And right now, I will tell you, APNU got a lot of corrupt people, those who joined them from AFC, the coolie. Very corrupt, vindictive, covetous, and spiteful. Because let me tell you, if they think they're going to escape a crime, what they have done to me, they lie. They have family in America. They have family in Ohio. They have family in Queens. They got family in Toronto. And y'all don't know who's behind us. But our hands are clean. We are holding it back yet. I'm telling you here today, all them magistrates that are doing us wrong and judges and police who beating us, like the black woman at Timeri station. You beat a young man naked as he born and refused to give him medical. Even in war, you got to help the military. What did that young man done to you? If you have children, may they die at a young age. I call upon God. If not, we shall have our day. You can't kill all of us because you don't know all of us. But let me make you all clear. We got your name. We know everything about you. I was told not to broadcast much. Every police that write fictitious charge, we got your name. I don't care where they transfer you. What visa you got. The U.S. Embassy and the Canadian Department was told, once those names are right, maybe we give it to you to arrest you when you come out. Because let me tell you, we are not going to take it. Okay? We are not going to take it. You keep blaming the white man as a black race, what he have done to you. He do shit to you. He had opened up a door to prosperity. It was your great ancestor hundreds of years have done you wrong. By selling your family to the European that you're blaming today. Today, you call yourself president, prime minister, governor, liar, doctor, scientist, musician. These things are the price, my friend. So don't blame Africa, modern Africa, for the past of your ancestors. Well, I could imagine if your behavior in the 21st century is like that, imagine 17th, 16th, and 18th century. Your ancestor was more ignorant. You're lucky your ancestor over there didn't kill them out. Because you are the offspring. You have to come from somewhere. Because modern African today, I walk Africa. I live amongst them. It's different people, different tribal affair. Tribalism is over. It happened in the Amerindian community as the indigenous people. They have tribes too. It happened in India. They got a thing called caste system. So you India, let me give you your share now. You are corrupt. You covetous. You jealous fool. I don't know what name to give you, man. I never said cancer. There are many stages of cancer. But look like you all got everything into you. Out of 200 something thousand, I will give a ratio of about 15 to 19,000 of you genuine human beings. All the fucking rest is garbage. Excuse the language. Because I'm fed up. Okay? I am fed up. Sometimes I wish in Brazil or Venezuela could take the country if America that started don't want it. But only taking the oil and Canada with the gold. I'm calling on America, Joe Biden, President of America. You can help by taking Guyana with the help of England and Canada. And Guyana can be a place for all the refugees that is coming from Ukraine, the Arab continent, and South America, and Central America, and Caribbean. But I want you to do one thing. If the Haitian government, and CARICOM heads of government have to do it too, if the Haitian government cannot arrest those young men that put about 12 young black brothers to death, tired, burning them alive, and hang them or burn them back, let the rest with their family. We don't want nothing to do with the Haitians. So CARICOM should distract themselves from you as much as the Human Rights Department of America. They are human beings. No man have a right to treat another like that unless they have raped your family. And they have done like what Guyana black people do to other race. And what the Indian hiding from the back, paying the black man the money, police, magistrate, judge, prosecutor, and criminal to do the nasty work. And I got a message to all of you. When these ministers then get arrested, they're going to call your name. And anytime they give you a job to kill somebody, don't tell them no. Tell them you're going to do it and go to the embassy with your family and ask for political asylum. Because if you only talk, they got people to kill you and your family. Where is Feynman? Where's the guy that escaped from the prison? You know why they got to silence these people? Because these people are called to information, it's alleged, were killing and doing wrong for them, and they're scared to talk. I heard they lock up a Venezuelan woman because she helped to break the man out of prison. And if the prison was not break and enter, that woman should not be in jail. And if she was with the person, she have nothing to do with that, and maybe she can't speak good English. So let me tell you, Mr. Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic, if you don't want problem with the Venezuelan government and the military, release that Venezuelan woman. Because Guyanese is 120-something thousand in Venezuela. They get free land to build house. Listen, you Indian fools, in a country that you don't speak the language, Hugo Chavez give Indians and other races place to build house and free water, free light, 100-something thousand living there. And in Guyana, they're coming over. You should extend the hospitality, but you got him in whole house, using and abusing them as servants. And you calling on Bhagwan, Allah, and God, you hypocrites. Come on. Come on. Is Guyana becoming a whore ground? A gamble ground? Because you got casino. You got a whorehouse and rum shop. Come on, Mr. Ali, I have a lot of respect for your family and you. And account information, and I would say it, we might be connected through the back and the alley also. So I don't want to say much, I don't want to cross that line, but I'm asking the educated black people, what are you doing? Are you afraid to speak up? The Amerindian young woman who claimed that she was raped and buggered the other day, that was on the news, is not alleged. She blamed a minister. Possibility she did, but I don't think she was on drugs. And then they hold she in protective custody, but they couldn't protect the building that burned down where many lose their life, have the children like if they was in prison. And you people talking about Allah, Bhagwan and God, y'all are worse than Hitler, man. The Jews say Hitler gassed him with 6 million people, killed 6 million. He gassed him a lot of Jews. But y'all put those Amerindian children in Manya, in a dorm, and the gate was locked. All of you, the ministers who involved, should be arrested and charged for capital murder. Because they are kids, they are minor, and they are the real citizens of the country. But you arrive, and you still worry about India. Well, Mr. President Ali, may Allah hear me speaking to you on this. Be careful with your guards you got around you, and the cook you got in your house. Change them around, I beg you. Because those who put you to do their work is hiding behind you, and jealousy don't have back door nor window. Okay? You are being used. As the president of a cooperative republic of Guyana, which is so-called independence and republic, the constitution is breached. And therefore, you as president, you should change the constitution that no man is above the law. May it be you, vice president, prime minister, or nobody. And therefore, we can work together. The country is an Amerindian country, and I respect it even though I got the blood all in me. I got all the blood in me. My friends, I'm asking in the name of Allah, Mr. Ali. Do me one favor if you love Guyana to talk about one Guyana. Do me this one favor. Pull the bloody ambassador out from India, where they are killing Muslim and Christian, and you still associating with these bastards? For humanity, for the love of Allah, God of Bhagwan, pull your ambassador out. For he who associates with a criminal is just the same. He who assembles with a bunch of thieves are just the same. Come on, man. Give up the Quran. Stop wearing a gun. Stop lying, man. There is Allah, Bhagwan, a God. He will soon deal with all of you. You hear? And you Hindus, listen carefully. Guyana is not India. You are the descendant of India like me who got your blood in you and others. You hear? They don't love you. They don't care for you. Go and see what happening in India. Bharat find the auntie, hope Ali find the uncle. My friends, I love the country, but all of you are wrong. You, the black race, is wrong, who love God but go against the will. Will you take away heaven from Jesus, my black brothers and sisters? Will you take away it from Moses? Will you take away from Joseph the dreamer? Or Abraham, your grandfather? You bastards! Like what you do with the Amerindian country? Rape their women, inbreed them, take their land, and even giving it to other people, and you talk about white man? Come on! Do you know the meaning of emancipation? It means freedom. And if you're free, there's time to go home. But I know you're born in Guyana. Accept your birthrights. Open up the door to Africa where Guyana belongs. Where are all your friends coming from now? Where was Saudi Arabia in the 70s? It was Trinidad and Venezuela gave us oil. Was Saudi Arabia give you any? Come on, Ali. Did they give any? Come on. India still give the Taliban and right now to get account information. My friends, my video in the past, I played something with a man from Brooklyn who released a message. I would like to play a little piece and let you hear how bitter he is. And he's challenging the United States Congress, the Democrats, to support him in the call of something to do with Guyana. Well, I want him to know it's America put us in it. So therefore, I will kindly ask that you have a couple minutes to look at it, and I will end it after then for you all to understand. But I call upon you Indian and blacks to unite. Don't trust the politicians. There are good ones amongst them, but a lot of scrape heads in wrong hole. There you will have it, and then I will take it over from there. All right?
Rickford, welcome to our broadcast. A very good evening to you, Rickford, and the folks out in New York.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. How is it in Guyana? It's dark and hot here.
Well, it's just dark here.
We see it here. It's demonstrated. And in New York and depend on U.S. government technocrats, most of whom were white people, and I don't want to stress race, but that is a fact. Most of them are not concerned about the welfare of black people. We see it here. It's demonstrated. And so we want a pragmatic group of politicians, a diverse group of politicians, including our elected officials, who day in, day out, Sherrod, in this country, fight anti-black racism. Look what is going on in Florida. Look what is going on in Texas. They're making laws to basically set black people back to the time when we were considered 3/5 of a person. And while they're fighting that here, they're supporting the same thing in Guyana. It's a racist foreign policy. It started under the Trump administration. They completely ignored our concerns. And now the Biden administration has come to power, and they're again ignoring these complaints. Not once. You mean not one issue? Press freedom is under threat in Guyana. Democracy is under threat in Guyana. Black people are living under subjugation. Amerindian communities are living under subjugation. The government is using the oil wealth for their own communities, for their own people. They're transferring the wealth of Guyana to East Indian contractors, who then give them kickbacks. And this government is ignoring that. It is ridiculous. And then they'll come back to the black community and say, please vote for us because we have your interests at heart. We're not buying that this time. We want the Biden administration to pay attention to what we're saying. We want the administration to investigate the complaints that we're lodging with them with regard to racism in Guyana. What are they going to wait for? Until the country blows up? Until we have a civil war? Is that what they want? That's what they do around the world. They allow black countries to explode, become failed states, and then they rush in and try to be the saving grace. We're not going to wait for that to happen. We want equality in Guyana. That's all we want. We want our people to be treated equally. And we are saying that while the people in Guyana must stand up for their own rights, they must make sure that they fight for their own rights, fight for equality, fight for racial justice. The Biden administration cannot play footsie with the apartheid-like government in Guyana that's subjugating the people that are committing crimes against humanity in Guyana, that are committing transnational repression crimes against us here. We can't ignore it. You can't have the FBI investigating people in Guyana for transnational repression crimes. You can't have international organizations speaking out about racism and the Biden administration cozying up to these people, propping them up, enabling them to continue along the racist path and give them taxpayer money. No, it should not happen. We oppose it, and we want the Congress to help us dismantle the racist foreign policy in Guyana.
Interesting times. You know, the American ambassador here, Sarah Lynch, had a farewell party about 3 months ago. She's still here. You know, departure to us is a simple act. You put on one foot in front of the next. And you beat out 3 months ago. Farewell party, she's still here.
Well, I assume that they want to maintain the presence of an ambassador in Guyana. And until this one here is confirmed, she might remain there. Normally, if an ambassador is removed, the charge of the affairs normally runs the embassy. But I guess in Guyana's case, they want, because of the strategic importance of the country, they want to maintain the presence of an ambassador. I could understand that. But then the administration must make sure that they fight to get the ambassador confirmed. I think it's an affront to the Congress and the separation of powers where you have somebody as significant as the leader of a party in Congress calling for the removal of an ambassador with reason. The congressman, and I hear PUP supporters saying, I'm telling the congressman. I'm not sure how they know what I say to the congressman or what I say to members of Congress. Members of Congress have their own staff. They do their own research.
Jealous you, man, Rickford. Jealous you. You have a competent position.
He must know why he did that. We never asked him to do that. He must know why he did that. Mm-hmm. He has seen the reports where the ambassador went to the home of somebody who was under FBI investigation for allegedly funding terrorism, right? It was in any other circumstances. That ambassador would have to answer to an investigation. None of that is happening in Guyana. They're continuing the same racist foreign policy, and it must be dismantled. We want to have a pragmatic foreign policy in Guyana. Let me say this. We want to see our country develop. We want the gas to show project so that we can have industrialization in Guyana. We want to see a sustainable, reliable source of energy to maintain and power industries, new industries in Guyana, new communities in Guyana. We want a country to develop. We're Guyanese. But we don't want U.S. taxpayers to do it under a regime that is repressive, a regime that is trying to keep Black people back, a regime that practices racial discrimination, and a regime that is fighting to ensure Black people don't benefit from any of the oil wealth of the country. For instance, how many Black people own oil wealth? How many Black people have shares in any of these companies that own oil blocks? We don't know. How many Black people have gotten contracts from Exxon?
Yeah.
How many Black people have gotten government contracts? We don't know. We have not seen any. And you mean to tell me you're going to take taxpayer dollars to continue this kind of policy in Guyana? It must be dismantled. It must be dismantled. And Sherrod, in the last week of September, we'll be having a conference on Guyana in Washington. Hopefully you can be there. We can invite all of you there, and we'll talk to these officials, and we'll let them know what our concerns are and hear what their responses are, and fight for a new, more pragmatic foreign policy on Guyana.
Yeah, because all of this is building to that seminal conference you have coming up. Who are some of the persons likely to attend? Irfan Ali, Barjagnio?
We're not inviting anybody from the government. They have their opportunity to come to Washington to talk to U.S. officials all the time. You had the Secretary of State in Guyana. Guyana must be a strategically important country. You've had visits from 2 secretaries of state within the last 3 years. And like I said, nothing has happened.
And again, this is not because they like the PPP, Rick Ford. This is because, as you say there, and I want to emphasize that, the strategic importance of Guyana. They got oil pumping out there.
Exactly. And we're either the 5th or 6th largest oil producing country in the world based on the oil reserves. And that is what is important. It's important for Guyana. It's in the same hemisphere. We're in the backyard of the United States. We have national security interests. Terrorists can come through Guyana's porous borders and try to come to the United States. So we have to have a good national security policy in the country that helps to protect the United States. And we must have a symbiotic relationship where Guyana benefits from it as well. We are advocating for that. We understand that. We are not anti-Guyana. We are anti-PPP racist policies. And I don't believe that this government was installed legitimately in office. And so the United States government has taken a different position because of the reports they have received from the ambassador. But it is not a legitimate government in my estimation and in the view of half of the population. And that makes it, that has a question mark, a dark cloud hangs over the government. And I think when you have a government that is practicing racism, a government that is autocratic, a government that is implementing apartheid-like policies, and you have the United States government, a democratic administration, playing footsie, palling around with people from the administration. Have a president going up to Washington, rubbing shoulders with members of the administration, I think is rewarding bad governance. Bad governance. And so it is time that the United States government talks with everybody. Talk to the Amerindian community. Talk with Black people from the villages throughout the country. Talk with the trade union movement. Talk with the teachers union. Talk with everybody. Talk with community groups. Talk with youth groups. Talk with women's groups. And get a very comprehensive assessment of the situation on the ground, because they'll go to Guyana and talk to Barton, Jagdeo, and Irfan Ali. Oh, there's racism here. They'll be like, no, okay. And they accept that. No, we want to talk. We want the United States government to talk with the people who are affected. Talk to Black people. Don't go to East Indian racists and ask them about the welfare of Black people who they're subjugating. No, talk with the people who are the victims of their racism. Talk with the people who have issues with not getting justice. Talk to the victims' family who suffer from their inability to express free speech. Talk with the people who have been killed by this government, or at least by the PPP regime over the years. Talk with everybody and get a fair assessment of what is happening, and don't just talk to the government. That's all we want. And
Excellent.
there's nobody who should be opposed to this, right? Nobody should be opposed to that. If you're not practicing racism, embrace the visit, right? If you have nothing to hide, the government should come out and embrace our call for a fact-finding mission from the United States Congress.
Excellent. Folks, the president of the Caribbean Guyana Institute of
Hello.
Democracy in New York, the one and only Rickford Burke. Rickford, thank you for bringing clarity to these issues for us. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. Have a good night.
Yes, friends, you have just listened to the brother there, and I hope you understand what he was saying. Sometimes I wanted to know if he was born in Guyana or he grew up, or he's stifling his conscience. Now, I have nothing against the man, per se. He has a right to his philosophy and his opinion. But when his philosophy and his opinion is overriding what has passed and not even mention it, then I got a problem here. Now, somebody say on one of my comments, or I think I see it on some program I saw it on, they said Mr. Norton is afraid of this brother. I don't see why that even had to come into play. This brother living in America, Norton are still in Guyana. He's still there facing the heat. Unless he's pretending and this brother knows something that we don't know. Now I want to make this clear. We do not need nobody who's there already, whether you're black or you're Indian, to run Guyana in the future. Those innocent ones who are patriotic to the country and decent enough and humble enough to speak out against both parties in Parliament, those are the kind of troopers I would like to follow to lead Guyana. Now, we tried the blacks for 28 years. Other races suffer, only height was different. We tried the Indian. Black people who are picking up dead people all about, but they blame it on the drug war, according to Mr. Raja Khan, and contrary to what it was stated, it's alleged. And the people are going forward to do what they have to do. Now the United States, ladies and gentlemen, have fought in World War II to preserve democracy, freedom, and welfare for all. They signed an agreement in the Geneva and also the Monroe Doctrine, if you get it, you would see, to protect the hemisphere here, while England and I think France was a part of Germany while they was divided. Thanks to Reagan, he asked Gorbachev to remove the wall, and the wall came down. And the communist problem ended, and business as usual. Today, my friends, we are suffering in Guyana because of illiterateness, stupidity, ignorantness. I want to ask you, Indian and black who are neighbors to each other, are working together. You see any one of them ministers ever pick you all up in the car and take you for dinner? You see any one of them and their children come and mix with yours? Y'all are nobody. Y'all are outcasts. Y'all are low-class people. When will y'all wake up to have a leader that really trusts to walk among you, shake hands, break bread, and even spend the night out with you? Not when they want you vote, they come and give you some food and some money and pay some bloody ignorant woman to wind up, and are you like that? Is that you're going to live on? After sex you get vexed, after romance you live in a trance, so get your ass together now, both of you. It's time for a change. We are the richest country in the world right now, and we are underdeveloped by population. We need 20 to 25 million people to push Guyana economy around. Bharat Jagdeo, Mr. Ali, Mr. Norton, and all the politicians in Parliament are not the owner of Guyana. They are immigrants who want arrive and want emancipated. The real owner of the country is indigenous people, where both races exploited them, followed by the mixed race. The Portuguese and Chinese does not speak about arrival and slavery, and they also went through it. You hear? So you black people should be happy that the Indian arrived with cheap labor, because India get rid of them for make money off of them. Because Indians love money. Y'all love to fight for land what don't belong to you. I have seen today in the news, East Coast, they're bulldozing land. People are complaining, even got a court order. And housing is going against them. You have no respect for the law. So I'm calling on you decent, honorable black people. And all you decent, honorable Indians to come together. Guyana is more important than anybody else. Those 65 members in parliament, present and past, was your servant. I also saw in the diaspora on the thing I was running through it, they got a thing there where Barnum's son-in-law, Mr. Van West Dodds, endorsing the PPP. Well, I have nothing against that. Because if I did marry Barnum's daughter, and I did get the whole back of the garden, I would only endorse the PPP. I would be worshipping them. You know why? Because when a dog have nothing to eat, and sudden get not a candle but a palace, and billions of dollars worth of land will belong to them, the dog will be a fool to bite the master hand or the giver. So wake up. Nice to show you all these politicians have friends and family. They're only barking because you have cell phone. Take the crime on the East Coast. When they attack the market, all those people should be charged for terrorism, penalty by death. And all who got the video, keep it. You will get big money for it. The magistrate or judge who put him on $15,000 bail should resign because you're either part of the PNC or APNU, or you're black for black. If an Indian they do that, they go to jail for life. If a Portuguese they do that, they want to be go to jail for life, or a Chinese, or a mixed race. Depends upon who they know. My friend, imagine if God takes side. Then it's only the Jews who can be in heaven, because they are the chosen one. So why are we calling on Allah, Bhagwan, and God? If the Bible said the Jews are the chosen people, then we have no blasted place there. But you know something? That's what they say he said. He never said that. For if a woman make 12 children, she may love one, but she will keep it to herself. But if she will preach discrimination like what they said the Bible said, the Bible said the Jews are the chosen people. Well, the rest of us got to go to hell, my friend. We are firewood for hell, right? Maybe that is why the devil, Lucifer, went against God. But I'm not going to cross that line. I'm only asking a question, okay? Okay? And I'm a priest, licensed priest. But you know why I don't have a church? My God didn't ask to take a penny. He says, help those less fortunate. He says, start from your house first. Charity begins at home. But we was giving the ANC money to fight a revolution against de Klerk in South Africa. We support Mugabe, according to information and led the train station and the line gone there, and the machinery. My friends, too many mistakes has happened because you all was misled. The late Walter Radley, the son of Guyana, a true revolutionist in our time, who unite the two people together, was a threat to the PNC and was a threat to the PPP. PPP never changed their name. They were PPP all the way through. Now they're PPPC. I don't know what the C means. Must be criminal activity. You know? Or charges. I don't know. Or crime. I don't know. But they're going to decide it in the future in the right government. Now, APNU changed name. There was PNC. Then they come reform that I call the farm. Then they come now to APNU. APNU. Well, it is because AFC member who was PPP right hand support them. And therefore, they become APNU. Well, look at me. A, P, N. And they use like this. Just turn it sideways. And then you put the word after. Right? That's A, P, N, C. You put A after PNC. Is no APNU. So nobody isn't going, I don't care if you're green, if you're not black, and one of them, you can't be a part of it. And yes, they call them honorable, but they're miserable. They allow members of who joined them to ill-treat people and lock them up, and they're calling themselves honorable. The people of God, I ask you, oh God, in my name and your name, give me justice towards the hypocrites then. Bring Guyana down to the dogs if they don't change. I beg of you here, Father, I know that you are doing miracles. I've seen your hands. I was on a ship, I came off in blaze of fire. I take people, tell them, go home, what will happen? I was in the helicopter, they put me down in the basket. Right in front of my eyes, it blew up. I have seen your hands, I've stepped between snakes, and I was saved. I was about to drown, then you saved me. I ask you to save Guyana, the innocent man and woman and child, the innocent of all race, and educate them. Take the disease out. I beg you here today for this miracle. Show them, let them bury their children and their offspring, from the judges to the magistrate, to the prosecutor, to the police, to the killer. Show them your hands as the rightful judge. Father, it has to stop. It has to. So I beg of you to step in now before it's too late, because Guyana is becoming more poor. Why are you bulldozing land? Mr. Ali, put an end to it. Bulldoze land and give the people money to build a house. Build a house, a 4 or 5 concrete bedroom flat house, before you break down the wooden house and put them on the street. You are not the owner of the country, and you're doing it on Witten Hoop, where your supporters are. Now I would not say this is race. You got all power get into your head, you get drunk. I don't think you drink Russian beer and you're shaking hands when you make a few mistakes. I saw in the news again, you went to India and you want to modernize Guyana military force with Indian equipment. You better know what you're doing. America won't stand for that nonsense. You are going to join with Brazil, Russia, China, India, and South Africa. Silently. You better know what you're doing, because America controls this hemisphere and they get what they want. If they could get rid of Chile, Allende had finished that problem, threatened the great Fidel Castro, and he pulled his tail between his ass and sit on it. And not forgetting Nicaragua, Guatemala, not forgetting Spanish Honduras. And if you think of Panama with the canal, think again, my friends. You're young, open up your eyes to it. The only people we have around us is America. It's America. Wake up, for God's sake. Most of your people are living in the America. They are also living in Canada. I have nothing against the Russian people. But if Putin have sense, he should stop the war. Tell him to stop the war in Ukraine to save life. But coming back to India, pull the ambassador out. They're killing Muslims. They're killing Christians. We want a nation who we could work with for humanity and who fear God. Open up the door to Ghana. Open up the door to India for the present generation so they can come to help to develop Guyana, where the ancestor had taken over as slave, as you say. And let's unite. Worship the one God, whether you call it Allah, Bhagwan, or God. It's the same God. We shall meet him one day. Let's unite. Let's forgive our brothers for the crime they committed and go beyond that. We don't need who's in parliament now unless they pay. And we need land and money. And Exxon must give something better. And we need more American business in Guyana. One thing I love you Indian for, y'all love business. Y'all will brighten up Guyana. The only problem is, one will have a 10-story house, the other one have 11. And y'all keep climbing, we go climb to heaven. Well, anyhow, no insult. For you, the decent Indian and blacks, unite for God's sake. We need a national front government that will set the racial tension apart. We need equal distribution of military with all the race. The police force, the civil servant, and every military, police, nurses, and doctors was given a place to live if they got none, and a better salary. They are the ones who are doing the work. Y'all are only the administrator. So once again, I am your host, George Correa. Please subscribe to my channel. No hard feelings, my friend. We can resolve that country and get rid of the disease and work for a better Guyana. And long live you, the decent one, Long live Almighty Allah, Bhagwan, and God. Peace be unto all of you. Thank you.